right now on Founding Bloggers.
Wait a second. I do a show on WIND. No, you have to go away. What are you talking about? Don't tell me what to do.
Let him finish or I'm going to deck you.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to make a comment on blocking the reporter from WIND, you and Jay Levine? Would you be willing to issue an apology to Bill Kelly from WIND Radio?
Very nice to see you.
No comments?
Thursday, October 28th, 2010. Conservative radio host William Kelly has pressed second-degree assault charges against Chicago media icon Jay Levine. The charges stem from a confrontation Kelly found himself involved in while attempting to question Rahm Emanuel at the Chicago Columbus Day Parade.
Dude, do you have your residency situation?
You're not even a reporter.
I am too. I'm with WIND Radio. I do a show on WIND. What are you talking about? Wait a second. I do a show on WIND. No, you have to go away. What are you talking about? Don't tell me what to do. How are you a fresh beginning if you're the President Obama's chief of staff?
You will let him finish or I'm going to deck you.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you his press secretary?
How about this?
Jay Levine is whoa. Wait a second.
Because of that threat, Levine now faces a summons to appear in court. We caught up with William Kelly and asked him why he thought these veteran reporters became so enraged with his actions that day.
Jay Levine was simply angry that I was going to ask a question that did not fit the narrative of what he wanted all of the newscasts in Chicago to run with. And it was purely ideology, his ideology, and I guess you could say his sense of entitlement and arrogance. So some dangerous cocktail of those three ingredients.
Citizen journalist Jeremy Siegel of the Rebel Pundit blog tracked down both Charles Thomas and Jay Levine to try and get their side of the story.
Do you think that was appropriate for Jay Levine to threaten to deck William Kelly from WIND Radio? No comment?
You should ask Jay Levine about that.
I was wondering if you had any regrets about your threats to William Kelly from WIND Radio.
It's nice to see you, and I've got to cover an event here. So
just wondering if you had any regrets about threatening Will Kelly from WIND Radio.
I have an event that I have to cover, and I can't talk.
Would you be willing to issue an apology to Bill Kelly from WIND Radio?
Very nice to see you.
Thomas and Levine aren't talking, but just about everyone else in local media is weighing in. Sadly, many of Chicago's media establishment are taking the side of the man facing assault charges, Jay Levine.
Should Jay Levine have to apologize for threatening to punch this guy?
Oh, come on.
Well, look.
Please. I would have done the same thing Jay did. Exact same thing. And I don't care. I'm a woman. He's a man. I would have said the same thing.
Writing for the Chicago Tribune, Eric Zorn said Kelly's confrontational interruptions provoked Levine's threat. The problem, according to these journalists, is that William Kelly doesn't meet their standards for a real reporter.
Yeah, he is not a reporter. Charles Thomas hit it right on the head by just saying he is not a reporter. He's pretending to be something that he's not, and that he's not respecting his elders.
Does Jacobson have a point? What is a real reporter? Am I not a real reporter simply because I don't work for ABC or CBS? Is this not a real report that you're watching right now? Obviously, these journalists believe that they are the real reporters. So let's compare the work product of the three people involved in this incident. We already know that Kelly was pressing Rahm on his residency requirements and his involvement in the president's failed stimulus bill.
Rahm, there are a lot of people that speculate that the stimulus was actually just a payback to your Wall Street friends that made you a multi-millionaire. What do you say to those people?
Now let's see what the so-called real reporters filed.
The former White House Chief of Staff has conducted a listening tour for the past week.
People are talking about the basic issues of safety on their streets, the quality of their schools, the ability to find a job.
Rahm Emanuel, who was working the crowd outside the barricades, had a different take on the issues.
They know we have tough challenges. They know we can't continue down the path we're on.
Did you notice something missing in the two clips filed by these self-proclaimed real reporters? Neither of them mentioned that Jay Levine threatened to attack someone at the event. Even though at one point Rahm Emanuel got involved when he told Jay Levine to stand down, none of this was newsworthy according to these real reporters. If it weren't for the citizen journalist who was threatened in this incident releasing his video on YouTube, the story never would have been reported on at all. So, who's the real reporter here? The other criticism of Kelly is that his questions were biased and that he was rude. Again, writing for the Chicago Tribune, Eric Zorn said, "What I see in this video isn't left versus right, but polite versus rude. Reporters get very angry with imbeciles of all stripes who try to hijack news conferences and interview opportunities." Even if, after watching Kelly's tape, you conclude that he was rude and his questions were not journalistic, does that mean he should face a beating from Jay Levine? According to Chicago's media elite, that's exactly what it means.
I would have said the same thing.
In Chicago, this is Andrew Marcus. Jeremy Siegel contributed to this report.